Well, hello, EKN Nation. Welcome to our OutLap preview podcast of this coming weekend's Challenge of the Americas opener in Tucson, Arizona. This is episode number 50. It is January 31. My name's Rob Howden, joined by David Cole, as always. So many of our OutLap preview podcasts. Again, for those of you, the previews designed to give you kind of an insight into an upcoming EKN Trackside live event. This, in case, of course, being the opening round of the Challenge out in Tucson, Arizona. Absolutely perfect for if you're heading to the racetrack and want to kind of get dialed in what's going on. We're going to kind of give you an update on all the stuff that's happening, the drivers and the teams that are going to be part of the action this weekend, maybe any special stories kind of surrounding the event. This edition of the EKN OutLap brought to you by RaceLab. The new face of competitive karting in the Pacific Northwest region is RaceLab. The full-service karting operation is located at the state-of-the-art Kartplex facility in Oliver, British Columbia, Canada, providing everything you need to hit the track or to put yourself in a successful driver development program. RaceLab is the official North American distributor for the TB Kart chassis brand, providing the full range of models from kid kart to shifter karts. Villeneuve Racing Karts is their flagship product, available only through RaceLab. The brand carries the name of Formula One champion and Indianapolis 500 winner Jacques Villeneuve, which each model produced by TB Kart. Follow RaceLab on social media on Facebook and Instagram, or load up their website at www.theracelab.ca to learn more about TB Kart and Villeneuve Racing Karts. Well, David, here we go, man. We always look forward to going west, especially here in January and February. Obviously, February 3rd, 4th, and 5th, the opening round of the challenge, normally starting in January. This year, moving to the February, March, April runs. But you and I always look forward to getting out of the cold, heading to see Andy Saisman and the crew. Challenge of America is always a fantastic program.
Yeah, it's 17 degrees here, going to be -3 on Friday. So very excited to leave this region of the country for at least, 3 days of sunshine and 2 days of sitting in a tube that goes 35,000 feet in the air.
That is very true. You're right. Hey, I'm just happy that we're going to have decent weather in Tucson. That's one thing we'll be looking at here. Obviously, a place, depending on when we've gone, David, sometimes we get cooler temperatures. We're looking potentially this weekend to be in the low 70s, although it will be, probably in the mornings in the 40s and 50s. We've had times we've been there when the mornings have been in the 30s, even in the high 20s.
Yeah, high of 79 on Sunday, so it's looking really good for that. But as you said, lows in the mid 40s. But it's a later date. Typically we've been seeing our Facebook memories of all the In-N-Out burgers that we've had in Tucson, Arizona during the last couple of weeks, because typically we're there in the towards the end of January. Now we're moved into the beginning of February. So again, you're seeing it, the sun is rising a little bit quicker each day. So weather's a little bit different. Obviously they had snow in Las Vegas, so the weather is kind of crazy right now, but it could be snowing in Tucson.
Don't
for all
say
we
that
know right now.
I'm
saying right now.
Don't even jinx it for us.
But for right now, we're looking at mid 70s and then the 79 on Sunday. So it's looking pretty good to be able to head to the 16th season of the Challenge in America.
That's the key right there, right? Again, February 3rd, 4th, and 5th, the date. We're going to Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, Arizona, one of my favorite racetracks as a commentator to call, because the racing is so good there. The track's so wide. There's a lot of really wide entries to get a good pass, to get a good speed, to really get that exit speed. That opens the door on the inside. So there's a lot of passing and then over-unders and back and forth. It's just really a tremendous racing circuit there outside of Tucson. The opening 2 rounds of what has traditionally been a 6-round championship, of course, heading to Phoenix in March and then April into Sonoma. But David, I think the key thing you mentioned all started back in 2008, the 16th season of this program. What a tremendous run that Andy Saisman has had. First, of course, with the Rotax, then moving into the Rock Cup USA program.
Yeah, it has been. We were there at the announcement in 2007 at Centennial track in Colorado. And from there, Andy's just been basically the one, among the consistency that we've seen throughout the sport over the last 2 decades, really, entering its 16th season. Very close to the same staff that has been working through the program, a lot of the same teams that have supported the program, industry members that have supported the program, and racers that have been in part of the challenge. there's been cadets who started with the challenge and now are either driver coaches or team owners, etc. So it's very crazy to just see the full circle that the challenge has been, and it continues to chug on. And again, getting good solid numbers to open up the year in Tucson.
Well, David, also as you talk about some of those cadets growing up to be their team owners, whatever it may be, but I know that the challenge actually put out a bunch of stuff because there was somebody that was talking about potential future Formula One drivers, and a number of those drivers spent time in the challenge or were actually challenge champions as well. Guys that are looking at like a Jack Crawford who is over in Europe right now, looking potentially to make some stuff happen.
Yeah, Jack Crawford, one of them. Uga Chukwu was a challenge champion in the 1 year that he did compete. I think it was the first year that they had Rock under the Rock Cup USA banner. The other one, Enzo Dellini, the Frenchman. Again, he was living here in the United States. He's a 2-time challenge champion. Now a Red Bull junior driver, and
pretty cool, right?
Yeah, making his way up through the junior ranks now of open wheel cars for 2023.
David, let's wrap up this first segment of this OutLap podcast. Again, episode 50 of our OutLap preview podcast, talking about the opening round of the Challenge of the Americas this coming weekend in Tucson, Arizona. As we go into the event notes, let's talk about the racetrack a little bit. I mentioned how great it is. 0.8 of a mile, 13 corners. We'll run it in the clockwise direction. Is that indeed? Are we running clockwise this year?
I don't know why it says clockwise. Maybe I had that wrong. So it's counterclockwise. Yeah, normally it's counterclockwise.
Listen,
so
the track,
mistakes.
But the track runs good in the clockwise way too. We've seen that happen many times, but I think the counterclockwise is going to be the way to go, right?
Yeah, I'll double check that as we talk.
I'm actually doing that right now too.
it's been the counterclockwise direction for a number of years for the challenge. Other programs have gone clockwise, so. Yeah, it is the counterclockwise direction.
You got that? All right, we got that. We'll lock that in. It's indeed running in the counterclockwise direction. The track itself, a replica of the Suzuka track in Japan. We talked about the fact that 16 seasons of Challenge of the Americas racing, but David, this track really has become, one of the. I guess really, there's not a lot to choose from when talking about West Coast Winter Series that can hold an event of this size. But 9th time since this series has been coming up to Tucson.
Yeah, it's been one of the regulars. Again, with the way the weather is in Tucson, it helps allow for competitors in the northern part of the country to come down and warm up. And again, the racetrack itself is what brings people there too as well. It's a phenomenal racetrack. Again, a lot of different passing opportunities, long straightaways, fast corners, slow corners. So it's got a little bit of everything again, and it has. I think the passing opportunities is really what makes it stand out as a racing track.
And that last big rundown, kind of the downhill straightaway into that left-right combination that leads back to start-finish. A lot of drivers making the move to the inside, but they'll blow the entry, and it's an over-under back and forth. There's just so many parts of this racetrack that make it so much fun to watch for sure. First time they were there was back in 2012. Also, our first EKN live event with the Challenge of the Americas. One thing Dave will add in as well, I believe our highest elevation in terms of the commentating tower and the EKN tower.
Yeah, it's up there. You can see everything at that racetrack, so it's great to be able to be going up there and see what happens. To be able to see everything. Yeah. That's the key point from the one standing spot. I wish it was a little bigger, but if it was a little bigger, it might be a little bit more dangerous with some of the winds that come through there. But
exactly.
Great vantage point. Again, just a great racetrack. Luckily, hopefully the wind will stay away, and so that'll make it a perfect weekend.
Currently Tuesday, January the 31st, as we record this podcast. They'll be on track tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, unofficial practice run by the racetrack. Full Friday practice, and as the challenge always does, 3 8-minute sessions to start the day. They'll expand it to 12 minutes, and then the extended 17-minute hot pit session at the end of the day. We love that one. We'll go live on EKN with that. So I'll be down on pit lane, roaming around. We'll talk about the drivers that are making last-minute changes. David, that hot pit session, 17 minutes, lots of time, but you can come in and make changes. You can swap hubs out if you want. You can make a front, any kind of an alignment adjustment. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Heck, you can change an axle if you wanted to. You can do a lot of changes just to find that final little bit on the final practice on Friday.
Yeah, it provides, to tuners and racers the opportunity to make changes in real time, very, almost kind of a reset button when you look at online racing, very similar. Not a lot of programs do it. Challenge in Americas is still one that continues to do the hot pit lane. We used to see it in the old days of karting, but a lot more facilities had actual hot pit that would work with a facility. Thankfully, Tucson is one of them, and again, gives drivers the opportunity to make changes in real time. Come in, like you said, axle, carburetor, front end alignment, all the different things, different hubs, all the different opportunities you have or changes that you can make to see if what works and what doesn't in terms of pace, and especially at that time when main event racing will be going on. So it'll give you an opportunity, not necessarily be the quickest maybe, but to be able to be the most consistent and be the quickest towards that main event checkered flag.
Exactly. Round 1 going on Saturday, round 2 on Sunday, the same setups for the day, starting off with warm-up, qualifying session, pre-finals, 14 laps for all but the cadet category. They'll run 11, and then finals are 20 and 16 for cadets. So we'll get lots of track time, lots of laps, and of course, full main events on both Saturday and Sunday. That wraps up our first segment here on the OutLap. When we get back, we'll have a look at the numbers, let you know what things are looking like to get things underway for this year's Challenge of the Americas. Ready to step up your game? Joining the Rawlison Performance Group is the obvious choice to take your racing to the next level. Industry-leading driver development is provided by our staff of multi-time national champions, Super Nationals winners, and Team USA members. And at the same time, RPG continues to be a national-level powerhouse race team. Our goal is to help you raise your game and win races. We work with all age groups and are focused on developing those cadet and junior drivers who are ready to take the next step in their racing program. Rawlison Performance Group has set a new standard with our in-house engine program, AVP Engines, headed by Alex Vincent. AVP has become the benchmark in IAME competition. We have the largest OTK inventory that follows our race team, providing trackside parts at all the major events in North America. RPG also offers multilingual support with French, Spanish, and Portuguese-speaking staff. If you want to fight for championships or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. The Rawlison Performance Group. We race to win. For over 20 years, Greg Bell has been building race-winning power for kart racers. One need only look at his team, Leading Edge Motorsports. He's always built engines for his team, and the results have been wins at the biggest races in America, the SCUSA Super Nationals and the Rock Vegas events. The name on this program? Mega Power. This year alone, Bell and Danny Formel teamed up to sweep the Rock Shifter class on the Florida Winter Tour, all on a Mega Power engine. If you want to win shifter kart races, it's time to put Mega Power on your kart. Mega Power specializes in gearbox engines, such as the TMKZ, Rock Shifter, and IAME Shifter, but with almost 3 decades of engine building experience, Bell develops winning motors for X30 and Mini Swift and everything in between. The combination of Greg Bell's engine building skills and his chassis tuning knowledge is a potent mixture. Greg's helped catapult many drivers to wins over the years, including Mercedes F1 star George Russell, who won the Supernats 14 in 2011 with Leading Edge Motorsports. Increase your odds of winning at this year's Rock Vegas or Super National events or throughout 2023 by calling Greg Bell today at 209-747-2613 to put Mega Power in your corner. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and the safety gear you need to get you on the track. Visit shopakr.com for a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure all the latest equipment is available to you, the racer. With over 20 years in business and customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price when you need them. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Make sure to follow Acceleration Kart Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials and new arrivals. Welcome back to episode 50 of the EKN OutLap here on the EKN Radio Network, or if you're listening on one of our podcasts, we thank you for that for sure. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole as we jump on in this particular OutLap brought to you by RaceLab, the North American distributor for the TB Kart and Villeneuve Racing chassis. David, the Challenge of the Americas is kicking off this coming weekend at Musselman Honda Circuit. The numbers we probably would like to maybe a little bit higher, but you never know with the way things kind of are playing out in terms of Tucson. Tucson's never really been the biggest draw in terms of numbers. It's a bit farther out from Southern California than some of the other tracks like a Phoenix, and of course Cal Speed now not being available. But 114 pre-entries coming in. I wouldn't be surprised to see a number of walk-up entries as well to take us over that 120 mark.
Exactly. It's the start of the year. A lot of people may not necessarily not be ready and we're not able to get in before the deadline, which came, I think, on the 19th, even January 19th. So it's been, I turned my calendar already over to February, so I got confused on the day. So it's a couple of weeks again. Yeah. It's been over a week that that registrations have been closed. So you figure one or two drivers per day, that gets you into the 130 mark. And I think when people see the numbers or hear the numbers in senior 100cc, that's gonna help people decide if they're on the fence or again, a lot of the new categories that are coming in too. Will we see more drivers enter at track again? That's another topic, including the OKN engine or category, where the late fee has been waived because of the newness of this category and the parts and engines just coming into the country. Challenge in America has decided to not only waive the late entry fee or the at track entry penalty, but they're also not making it a championship class. So again, kind of a future class, grow it for the future. Let's get the first footing put down. Let's get this thing figured out and kind of use, especially Tucson and then Phoenix and Sonoma to understand what this new engine platform is all about.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at it. One of the obviously alterations, the evolutions of the challenge this year is they're actually dropping 4 classes and adding 2 new ones, kind of dropping 4, really 3. Micro Rock is actually being dropped. There will not be a Micro Rock this year, but it will kind of fold itself into the Mini Rock category with the expansion of the ages. So 18 drivers last year, just 8 this year in Mini, which is a bit of a surprise. Probably thought we would have had more. They went to a different carburetor, which the teams were asking for, but only 8 drivers in Mini. But that happens with drivers transitioning up from Mini into Junior, then of course Junior into the senior categories as well. And we'll talk, David's already kind of teased that a little bit. The Rock engine itself, the Junior Rock and Senior Rock categories just did not draw last year. No Senior Rocks, 1 Junior Rock, that's been dropped. Masters Rock didn't have huge numbers either. They were figuring they dropped that, moved it over to hopefully have more drivers in Masters 100cc. But David, new for this year, the OKN, we've talked about it, really our first opportunity to see this engine here in North America and in the US, and 8 drivers lining up for OKN. I think that's going to be really exciting to watch. The other one, which kind of surprises me, because you had to figure to bring it out, there must have been a lot of people that would say, hey, I'll promise a couple entries if you do it. That's Rock Shifter Junior. Literally, people must have been asking for Rock Shifter Junior. I love the concept. I saw people online saying, oh, this would be awesome to be able to do this. No entries for the first round, which I think that's tough to see. And it's I'll tell you, if you're a team owner asking Andy Saisman for anything for 2024, I wouldn't even bother, because people already came and asking for Rock Shifter Junior and nobody's doing it.
The element of online banter. Right? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into a soapbox, but that's essentially maybe what kind of happened here. But I would think Andy has the understanding of what's going to happen with this program. And again, it's something that can be in the future. It might not show big numbers, but it can grow. I mean, no different than when they made the transition from Rotax over to the Rock. Again, it took a little bit for the Rock platform to grow and to get established. And it certainly has done that with the help of Andy Saisman and Challenge in Americas and the California Rock Championship as well, too. So, again, this is something to look to the future. It doesn't necessarily have to be huge and come right out of the gate as a gold star, but it's something that can grow on. Again, it's something that's brand new, something, again, manufacturer situations are happening. Again, even though we're 2 years out from it's 2 years, 3 years, it'll be 3 years, COVID 3 years ago, correct? Yeah. In March. So we're still feeling the effects of that through now the manufacture process of everything, where materials and stuff like that are just not readily available. It's still happening. So I'm not sure exactly where they are in terms of having everything, all the products in line. That could be an issue, or it could just be that people change their attitudes once the calendar turned over.
Sure enough.
Again, this isn't something that was thought of last year when we wrapped up the series. It was something kind of midsummer towards the second half of the season that came out and was announced. So again, it's something to look towards for the future. Again, we've seen junior shifter racing be very popular when shifter carts were first introduced. And so I can see this again. Some drivers might, I think it's something that can grow really when you look at it, because again, we're seeing a lot of these kids going from 10 years old into cars, and what better way to do that than shifter kart racing?
Yeah, and speaking of shifter carts, some decent numbers still, not the 19 in the senior and 17 in masters we had last year. Now, again, wait for some walk-ups. A lot of the shifter guys will do walk-ups. 13 drivers in the rock shifter senior class, 11 master shifter drivers. The big numbers, we'll wrap with 10 drivers and even 10 double digits in masters 100cc. They had 11 last year, so a couple of walk-ups will make that better too. But David, when I was scrolling through the spreadsheet of the entries, man, 37 drivers in senior 100cc, 27 in junior 100cc. These classes were just over the double digits a little couple of years ago, but 37 in senior, man, that's a really solid number for any West Coast 100cc driver.
And it shows the trend of what West Coast racing has been about, 100cc racing. That's where all the competitors are moving to. I guess they see more value and more bang for the buck in the 100cc than they do in the 125 stuff. So that's essentially where we're going to see a lot of great racing, a lot of argy bargy, a lot of all the schmozzles, all the Tim Coyan names that you can come up with in Tucson, because again, that opening corner, it's very tricky getting through that. So I guarantee we're going to see some issues there, but it's going to be a number of drivers, and when we'll get into it later, fighting for the victory in that category. Indeed,
there's your by the numbers. 129 total entries last year in the challenge. They have 114 pre-entries coming in. We'll see whether or not we get to the 130 mark with the walk-ups coming in to the challenge. Again, practice starting on Wednesday and Thursday. Time for another quick break. When we get back, it's time to start jumping into class by class. Well, some of the drivers who are entered, some that may not be there. There are some notable absences in a number of the categories as well. Not surprising. We see that from time to time. But when we get back from this break, we'll jump into Rock Shifter and Rock Shifter Master. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and arrive and drive programs at many of karting's biggest East Coast events, full product sales and service, and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group is an official Kart Republic race team, providing full trackside support at all the major USA karting events, including the SCUSA Pro Tour, United States Pro Kart Series, SCUSA Super Nationals 25, and other events throughout the 2022 season. TKG has in stock Kart Republic, IAME, MG and Avinco tires, and more products for those in Ohio and the Midwest region. Trinity Karting Group has a long history of the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years, and Parolon's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolon USA is North America's source for Parolon products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolon chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolon has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolon. For more information, head to ParolonUSA.com. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. Ignite Karting utilizes the spec Margay Ignite K3 with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and a Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the junior, senior, and masters classes compete on the same Ignite K3 chassis, which puts all the emphasis squarely on driver development. Additionally, Ignite Karting is accessible at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for the 2023 season include the Ignite Majors, which begins with the annual trip to the Daytona International Speedway as part of the WKA Daytona Kart Week as part of both the sprint and road racing events. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regionally based Ignite Challenge, which just finished up a record-setting season in 2022. Local club programs have also been established in other states all across the country, from Idaho to Texas, Nebraska to New York, with more tracks and clubs joining the Ignite Karting program. Be part of fast fun and great memories with Margay Racing at an Ignite track near you. All information on Ignite events and Ignite kart packages, including dealers in your area, are available at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and out onto the track in 2023. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. Welcome back to episode 50 of our EKN OutLap, our preview of this coming weekend's Challenge of the Americas in Tucson, Arizona, Musselman Honda Circuit. Rob Howden and David Cole jumping into what we'll be watching throughout this weekend. David, let's look at the Rock Shifter category to start. Then we'll go Rock Shifter Masters. 13 pre-entries. Hunter Pickett, the reigning champion in the category, but he will not be back to defend. He's not going to be there. Neither will be two-time winner from last year, Kyle Wick. We got a bunch of new names actually in this category.
Yeah, Pickett's moved on to PSL Karting, Burrell Art, and kind of the focus there was with the team in Florida during the winter months. So he will not be competing at the Challenge in America, as neither is Kyle Wick, a two-time winner last year before he called it quits on the series. So it's kind of opening up the doors. So really the only driver coming back that earned victory is Jacob Gulick. He's going to be the kind of the leader in the clubhouse going into the weekend as probably the top contender for the championship, having won at the Challenge in the Americas already, because he's the only other driver that has won in this category that will be racing in Rock Shifter. So that's kind of the story going into it. You look at Micah Hendricks. He certainly has the ability to compete in the Croc Promotions entry. Connor Wick in the GFC karting entry. So Kyle's brother will be among those returning, along with Macy Williams, Cooper Becklin, who's won. I believe he was a champion in this junior category, if I'm correct in that. 1 year. So he's won.
Yeah, he ran 100cc as well. Remember 100cc senior.
Yeah. So he's 19. Won in the series, just never in the shifter category. Yep. So he'll be the lone Burrell. Actually two Burrell Arts with him. He's racing for Alex Keys Racing, while Anthony Freeze is the West Coast Motorsports entry in this category. So some familiar names in the category, but a lot of new names as well.
Yeah, indeed. Let's move over to the Masters Rock category. And just like we saw in Rock Shifter, the champion Kevin Woods, not yet on the list to enter. Neither is Cliff Cuella or Jimmy McNeil. All three of those drivers splitting the wins last year. So the top drivers, the winners from last year, David, not here to start the season off at Tucson. Now, they may show up. I don't think McNeil was pre-entered when he and the Team Vazelia guys rolled into Tucson last year. So we may see Jimmy McNeil. We'll see. Otherwise, 11 pre-entries coming in. None of the winners, as we said. The champ won't be there. So again, another opportunity for someone else to step up. And again, just like in the senior class, a lot of new names as well.
Yeah, we'll see on the walk-ups. Again, that, master category, you just never quite know. And some of them not having social media, they're very hard to get a hold of. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, as of right now, no previous winners from last year in the field. However, you have a former race winner and I believe champion. I didn't double check on that. Nick Firestone, one of the veterans of shifter kart racing and a longtime Challenge of the Americas contender racing in the category as well as
really good at Tucson, David. He's
really good at Tucson. I'm opening up my file right now. See here, yeah. So he did not get the series championship that year. Okay. So so a winner, just no championship. So he'll be among those looking to add his name to that long list.
Jonathan Vitolo for GFC Karting. Mm-hmm. I expect him to be right there. He and Firestone, of course, are going to be able to pour over data together. Other drivers we've seen good over the years. Warren Kinberg's always shown some pretty good speed. And who's this Joey Guillon guy?
Yeah, a new name to the entry list because I don't believe he's ever raced at the Challenge of the Americas. I've always seen him, wrenching or tuning for competitors. So
building engines,
right? Yeah, building engines. Great to see the owner of Overdrive getting back behind the wheel. He's actually racing under the Ruthless Karting tent in I believe it's his own chassis brand. That's something we need to learn more about. I know it's manufactured in Europe, but Ventesimo. We'll get to the correct pronunciation from Joey, but the Alberta, Canada driver coming down to get behind the wheel. So I think he's seen Cliff and he's seen a lot of these other guys jumping into the master shifter. Even Alan Shudo, who will be there wrenching, not racing this year. He's seen a lot of these guys get into the seat and, maybe he's been a little jealous of all these guys. So it's a great time to do it because, the Challenge of the Americas always has great rock shifter master drivers.
Agreed. I feel that Ventesimo chassis is probably going to find its way. Some news is going to find its way into the Paddock Insider on Friday.
Could be. I think I'll have a nice chat with him.
All right, folks, when we get back after this third break here in this particular edition of the OutLap, we're going to dive into that EKN chassis. We'll tell you about the drivers who are signed on for that, and then we'll look at the mini rock category as well. We'll have more to come after this quick break. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the U.S., OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. From the legendary Tony Kart brand to the race-winning Cosmic and Esprit chassis, and now the new Red Speed and EOS brands, OTK quality is second to none. All 5 brands are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour and the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, and the Pro Kart Challenge, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the WKA Manufacturers Cup. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. To learn more about a specific product line, you can find the OTK USA dealer near you, whether it's Tony Kart, Cosmic, Esprit, Red Speed, or EOS. Visit www.otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly. CRG is one of the most iconic brands in karting, and we're primed and ready for the 2022 season with new material and a never-ending focus on winning. CRG Nordam is the North American distributor for all CRG products. Based outside of Houston, Texas, CRG Nordam supports CRG dealers across the continent, reaching every corner of North America. The CRG KT5 is our new chassis for tag and shifter racing, and it's been designed specifically for the US market. The KT5 features 30mm construction with a 32mm front loop to increase front grip. CRG's new VEN 13 brake system is cutting-edge technology with a master cylinder that allows for pressure regulation within the system. Drivers can customize brake pressure to their own requirements to improve feel and to avoid brake lockup. The kart is finished with new KG 507, 508 bodywork that has refined aerodynamics and reduced weight. For cadet drivers, the 2022 CRG Black Mirror is already logging positive results to start the new season. This chassis will be making big waves in 2022. Longtime CRG drivers will be happy to know that the CRG Road Rebel, the standard in quality and performance, is still available. With 4-cycle racing enjoying consistent growth in North America, CRG's FS4 chassis is the ideal choice for racers in Briggs & Stratton competition. From pure racing to karting entertainment, many tracks, both indoor and outdoor, have made the switch to the CRG Centurion rental kart line. 5 different models for both gas-powered or electric engines can fit any track's needs for a new rental kart fleet. CRG Nordam has a full inventory of rental karts available for new and existing facilities. For more information on the CRG product line, head to www.kartcrg.com, and to inquire about a North American dealer near you, please email us at info@kartcrg-nordam.com. History, success, family. Those are the 3 words that can describe Comet Kart Sales, one of the longest tenured karting businesses in the United States. The family-owned operation located just outside of Indianapolis has provided karts, parts, and services for thousands of racers in the near 6 decades of business. Their online store features everything you need, continually adding new parts to their product line. From full karting packages, new engines, spare or replacement parts, and safety gear, find it all at CometKartSales.com. Their Comet Racing Engine service has won multiple major events and championships over decades of karting and continues to offer the best trackside service in the industry, specializing in IAME X30, IAME Swift, and other 2-cycle power plants. Make sure to head to CometKartSales.com or call them at 317-462-3413 to be part of the Comet Kart Sales family today. Welcome back to episode 50 of the EKN OutLap, our preview for the opening round of the 2023 Challenge of the Americas at Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, Arizona. My name is Rob Howden. David Cole joining me here on the EKN Radio Network. We head out on Thursday to get ourselves there, be ready to go for Friday morning. David, the OKN category, of course, that addition to the program, big news earlier, late last year, actually, when Andy Saisman said, hey, I'm going to do this thing. It was one engine to start out with. It's going to be just the Vortex. They opened it up to other engine packages, but it's the first event in the U.S. for this OKN package. We'll see what kind of engines we've got lined up. We'll see what drivers we have lined up. Hopefully, maybe we'll get a couple of walk-ups. But the bottom line is, still 8 drivers, I think, is a pretty good way to come out of the gate.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Again, a beginning for something that is brand new around the world. Again, this is something that is not just going to be North America. It's something that's focused across the globe, with the FI putting in a lot of support and drive into this. And again, a lot of different, there's 6 homologated engine manufacturers. I think we'll at least see 2, if not 3, on the weekend. We know of Medina and also the TM version are going to be trackside. So when we get there, we'll get more information about who's running what and what it looks like, what they sound like, all that great thing about this new OKN package.
And it's interesting, people talk a lot about this kind of, the whole direct drive program and the horsepower of the engine. You wonder kind of which drivers would be kind of drug out here and maybe be attracted by it. I'm surprised not a lot of the drivers that you would see, right? You think maybe some of the East Coast drivers would come out. One in particular coming out who we've seen do very well over the last number of years, and that's running with MPG Motorsports and Race Factory. Chase Jones on the Kart Republic rolling out. They've got a bunch of drivers they're bringing out for this event, David. And I talked to Billy Vincent from MPG Motorsports last night, and he's pretty excited about getting Chase out there and along with the other drivers that they have, but to see how this thing all plays out.
Yeah, again, they're looking at this is a great test opportunity, not only to compete with the new EKN program, but also because they'll be racing it on the East Coast as well too. So that it's a great opportunity for them to kind of come to grasp with that. Yeah. And again, something brand new and something exciting. Chase already a Rock Vegas winner, coming in with good momentum from the end of last year. Kart Republic obviously doing well right now in terms of results here in the United States as well too. So that's great. Interesting to see Alex Keys. That's kind of a noteworthy entry. Again, we've seen him doing driver coaching and wrenching over the last couple of years. He was a longtime challenge competitor. Raced, I think the last time he raced was in rock shifter category. So he's actually coming back into the seat to try this out aboard the Charles Leclerc chassis. A driver moving up from junior to senior, because essentially this is a senior category. Jesus Vasquez Jr., Nash Motorsports going to be making that transition up into the senior ranks this year and starting off in the EKN category as well too. So interesting to see that. We have 7 different chassis brands represented in the 8 entries as well.
What do you think about Anthony Freeze doing double duty?
It's interesting. Again, rock shifter, that's something he's run typically throughout the challenge, last couple of years of the challenge. But to go back and forth, that's a little bit extra work. I'm not sure where everything falls in the schedule. I hadn't looked and see the actual order of that, but that wasn't something I didn't notice that Freeze is actually doing double duty. I wonder if Vasquez is also doing. He's not doing 100cc, so he's going to focus on that EKN package. No, Martin's not doing both. Jones is not doing both. So a lot of these drivers, aside from Freeze, are going to focus on the on this engine package and kind of figure it out and learn.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. It'll obviously be the first time we see this, and again, you mentioned it, David, for the guys like MPG Motorsports and Race Factory coming over here with Chase Jones. Get a feel for this thing, get a chance to race it a bit before they run it at the Stars Championship. So this should be very interesting to see how it all plays out. 8 drivers in right now, at least in the opening, the debut of EKN here in the U.S. Let's move to Mini Rock, David. 8 pre-entries in Mini Rock. This was a class that was pretty solid last year. I think we had somewhere 14 or 15 minis and just a handful, maybe 3 to 5 micros last year. It's a combination class this year of micro and mini running together. The big dogs from last year, though, Gage Korn and Ashton Woon, Turner Brown, Braylon Underwood, none of those drivers, at least on the list right now. So last year's champion, Gage Korn, not coming back to defend. I got to say it, new names for the category here in the Mini Rock category.
Yeah, that's kind of going to be the focus is drivers stepping up to kind of inherit the lead and the top role with Korn and others moving on. I think Korn was looking at doing junior shifter, but so far no confirmation on that for him. Turner Brown moved up to the junior ranks, and he's racing on the East Coast this winter. Ashton Moon moving to the East Coast during last year, so he's focused on the East Coast programs as well too. That's kind of opened up the door for some familiar name or for new names to step in. But one name we're familiar with, Jackson Gibson, provisional winner at the SCUSA Super Nationals. He is going to be I don't think he's raced the challenge before, so I think this could be a debut for him at the Challenge in the Americas.
Indeed. And a couple of drivers, as I said, MPG Motorsports and Race Factory coming out. Cam Becker will be running for them. We've seen Gabriel Balog as well come down from Canada to run with the Race Lab crew. They're going to be there as well. So
that's his. This will be his challenge debut. So he's not raced at the challenge. Gibson, not Mateo Paya. I'm not sure how you say that name, from BBR.
We'll figure that out.
The Falcon, and then Braden Wagner under the GFC tent. He's another new name as well too. So Paxton Romero coming back for Forward Direction Motorsports. Luca Popescu, a familiar name as well too. So it's going to be a good mix. Last year we saw a lot of great racing. We saw good big packs of racing Even though we only saw 2 drivers win, it was a lot of great racing all season long.
No doubt. Okay, one more break, folks. When we get back, we'll wrap it all up. It's the big classes. We'll go senior 100cc, junior 100cc, and masters 100cc to cap things off this edition of the OutLap. Motor mounts are critical to producing 100% of the power your engine has to get you on the podium each and every time. Odenthal Racing Products provide the best motor mounts in the karting market today. Odenthal Racing Products is a family-owned and operated business with decades of karting experience, providing products with unmatched quality and value for the karting market. Our newest product is the Pro Series mount for 2-cycle engines, available in 0, 5, and 8-degree angles, providing a rigid structure to help keep vibration to a medium with fins underneath to help dissipate heat off the engine. Our 4-cycle EZ set is one of the most popular mounts for the Briggs & Stratton 206 power plant. Multiple mounting holes provide the most adjustability, depending on your chassis and seat placement. To ensure a tight fit to your chassis, ORP wedge clamps get the job done, featuring a number of updates to its design for a lower profile and lighter weight. The clamps are available from 28mm to 32mm in both standard and Euro sizes. Head to OdenthalRacing.com and find a dealer near you. Odenthal Racing Products, made in the USA. Winning takes top quality equipment, flawless preparation, experienced coaching, and passion. And at Team GFC, we live our passion. Developed by American karting champion Gary Carlton, the GFC chassis has become one of the newest brands to reach the top of the podium in North America. GFC has garnered victories and championships at all levels of the sport since its debut at the end of 2018. Shifter car drivers are at the front of the field in the GT14 frame, with the SS31 a consistent contender in tag and 100cc competition. Team GFC has arrive and drive packages available for all categories, including the mini and micro classes utilizing the GFC RR5 cadet chassis. These young pilots have the opportunity to be part of the Team GFC Young Driver Development Program. Learn from one of the best American karters with 28 years racing at the highest levels of the sport, offering personalized training on and off the track. Follow GFC Karting on Facebook and Instagram, or click over to gfckarting.com to learn more about joining Team GFC. GFC, live your passion. The Challenge of the Americas is back for its 16th season in 2023, and some intriguing changes are in store to make this new year the most exciting yet. We've adjusted the schedule to make our program work better for our teams, which means more teams, more racers, and more competition. For the first time, we're starting the Challenge of the Americas season in February. We're launching at the incredible Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, one of the best racetracks in the country, on the February 3rd to 5th weekend, and then we'll head to the PKRA facility in Phoenix on March 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The finale will again take place at the beautiful Sonoma Raceway, this year on April 14th, 15th, and 16th. The sought-after tickets to the Rock Cup Super Final in Italy and the Rock Vegas event in Las Vegas will be on the line, as always. We're also stoking the fire for the series with 2 exciting new classes for this year's challenge that have the karting community buzzing. We'll be the first program to offer the new CIK FIA OKN formula, which is karting at its purest. Direct drive, no starter, light and fast. Who's up for this challenge? We're also providing the country's only place for juniors to race gearbox karts with our new Rock Shifter Junior class. The engine is restricted, which provides an incredible experience for our young racers, and durability and lower engine costs for our families. If your son or daughter is looking at a shifter, race the challenge to get real experience. The 2023 season of the Challenge of the Americas kicks off in less than 3 months, so make sure you book the weekends on your racing calendar. To learn more, head to challengekarting.com. Welcome back. Time to wrap things up as we preview this coming weekend's Challenge of the Americas opener in Tucson, Arizona at the Musselman Honda Circuit. Looking to be a really solid weekend. Of course, a big evolution in terms of some classes getting dropped, new ones getting added. But David, really the highlight for the entire entry list that when it got delivered to us was I just kept scrolling down and counting 37 pre-entries to 100cc senior. That is absolutely massive. Kyriakos Soukas, last year's champion, he actually won't be here. At least won't be there at the Open from that we can see so far. But the largest field in series history. We'll see how things play out. This should be pretty interesting to watch. There's a lot of really good names here in this category.
Yeah, no former winners from last year coming back. Jake Drew focused on the ARCA program that he's been doing and did so well last year. Oliver Hodgson, three-time winner last year, not coming back, and champion Kyriakos Soukas not coming back. So opening the door for a new champion in 2023 and a lot of major names to be able to compete for that title. Looking again, going down the list, a lot of different names. You got to start with Liam Lech. He's a former series champion coming in, so under the GFC tent. So this is, I believe, his second year with GFC. So we'll see if the sophomore season works out. Frankie Mossman has been showing really well aboard the CRG and the 100cc categories. Did a lot of good results last year. He's kind of going to be a standout name that'll be on the stopwatch throughout the practice sessions. Josh Campbell, another name as well too. So a lot of those are kind of the names that stick out for me. Chase Hand and Steven Eisert representing NorCal.
And remember Chase Hand making his GFC debut after a couple of years with Rawlson Performance Group as well. He's been testing with the team pretty aggressively. So yeah, Chase Hand could definitely be in the fight here for sure. You mentioned Steven Eisert. I'd look for Josh Feiner for Race Lab as well, for very likely to be on that Jacques Villeneuve card. I bet you he's in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, and then Chase Hand had never raced Challenge, so this is something brand new for them. Again, a new series, new kart, a lot of different variables. So we'll see kind of how he reacts to that coming into Tucson. Again, a track I don't think he's been to as well either. So that's something that we'll watch as the weekend goes on. Lydia Small, she was good in the junior ranks, so we'll see how she's going to do this weekend. And Henry Wheeler, the MPG Motorsports entry in this category, the senior 100cc division. So he'll represent the East Coast, the Ohio driver, in what you said is amazing 37 driver field.
Yeah, you look across the 100cc ranks and it is fantastic. There are 74 drivers over senior, junior, and master, 27 in the junior category. Christian Cameron winning the championship last year. I think he's pretty much focusing on the East Coast program, running with PSL Karting. No Christian Cameron, no Steven Eisert, no Preston Lambert either. He's going to be running over in the WSK program with Sodi Kart this year. Look for a driver diary coming out of Preston on eKartingNews.com. But again, that blows things out of the water. Again, Gonzalez, Lambert, Jesus Vasquez, Cameron, Eisert, all winners last year. And I think the big thing, David, and you've got it in your notes here, got 9 drivers who have graduated up from the mini category.
Again, that's part of the problem with not having big numbers in mini. When you lose 9 of them, that last year we saw good numbers in that field, and now we're down to under double digits. So that's part of the issue that we have in terms of numbers, and that's the ebb and flow of karting. You get the kids that graduate from one division to the next. So, looking at the names, you got Nico Serfati, you have Ty Fisher, Kyle Drysdale. Those are kind of the 3 names that stand out in the 9 drivers that raced in the mini category last year.
Yeah, and you look at some of the guys that are, I'd say guys and girls, because the first one I'm starting with was actually Peyton Westcott. She's been kind of dialing things in. She's been looking good, working with Nash Motorsports, and Matt Johnson, and has done some national level racing in the SCUSA program. So she's kind of been getting a feel for some of the bigger stuff as well. I expect her to be in the fight. Keegan Kaminsky, another driver who's been running, with Formula Works and GFC. And what about Austin Olds? He's another driver. Again, this crew of guys that are coming out from kind of the Midwest, and with MPG Motorsports and Race Factory from Indiana. I think Austin Olds will be a driver to watch. Again, all new racetrack for him, though, right? And first time ever running in the program as well.
Yeah, Austin Olds and Mason Kuhn from MPG Motorsports. So they're going to represent the East Coast drivers coming over to compete. And like you said, Kaminsky, I think he's going to be one to watch. He did
Agreed.
very well
in
his trips to the East Coast side of things and did well towards the end of the year. Alexander Gonzalez, the only returning winner from last year in the field. So watch him under the National Motorsports tent. So he
was good last year, right?
I would put
last year.
Yeah, I would put Gonzalez and Keegan Kaminsky as the top returning drivers. Rocky Moran, I think this is his second year in the junior ranks, so we'll see if he's able to get that, avoid that sophomore slump or make it a boost, because he really wasn't notable last year. That we didn't really see him too much in the top 10 during last year. So but for me, Gonzalez, Kaminsky, those are kind of the names that I'll be watching. And as you said, along with Olds, seeing if he can make the all the new stuff, put that aside and be up front.
Yeah, the only other driver I would throw out there right now, based on just kind of scrolling up and down here, is Graham Trammell. He's got a lot of national level experience, and we'll see if Graham can get in there and start fighting here in 100cc junior. And David, let's wrap it up with Masters 100cc. Just 10 drivers on the pre-entry list. We'd love to see another handful come in here. This is a category, of course, kind of near and dear to my heart, my class as well. But we've talked so much about through the categories that the champion wasn't coming back. Well, Ian Kunchez is back. He won 5 times last year. You got to put the spotlight on him, the reigning champ, coming back with Forward Direction Motorsports.
Yeah, but he's not the only champion in the category, as we now have Derek Wang running the 100cc division, the 4-time Rock Master champion at Challenge of the Americas, making the move over to the 100cc division. So we'll get to see the Kunchez versus Wang. Not to mention, you throw in Preston Newberry in there. It's going to be a pretty good battle. You got Luke Tracy. We'll see how
Chris Mann as well.
And Chris Mann.
He's always up front.
Yeah, Chris Mann. Yeah, he was following Wang and Cleveland all last year in the Rotax program. So you got a number of names that'll be there. We'll see how Ron Schoonover does in his second season at the Challenge under the JH Motorsports tent.
Yep.
Again, this will be a cool category to watch and to see how it plays out.
Indeed. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. We're hoping to see if we can't get over the 120, 125, maybe 130 entry mark once we get trackside. Like we said, they'll be firing things up with track run practice on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, of course, the first time we go official. The opening round of the Challenge of the Americas will be live on ekartingnews.com/live. We'll stream through the app as well. If you have the EKN Radio Network app on your phone, we'll have a ton of content coming through our social media channels. We'll have the Paddock Insider on Friday. I get in midday, maybe mid-afternoon on Thursday. David doesn't get in until late Thursday evening. David will be trackside early on Friday morning, ready to fire things up. It's East Coast, West Coast time, so we'll just naturally get up a little bit earlier. But again, looking forward to starting the West Coast season off. We'll be at all 3 of the Challenge races this year.
Yeah, it's only 2-hour time difference for us, so not too bad.
No.
And again, excited to get a 16th season at Challenge in Americas kicked off, our 13th year with them, providing live trackside live coverage once again. Again, just thrilled and excited. I'm excited just to get trackside. It's been since November.
Yeah,
so,
you didn't come to SCUSA. That's right. You haven't been to a racetrack since Supernats.
Yeah, I'm itching. I need to smell that 2-cycle and see the tires hit the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm all for it too. And I always love getting out to see the Challenge family. So we look forward to being there. Hopefully you'll tune in, folks, throughout the weekend. The Challenge of America is getting things underway. Once again, a big thank you to Race Lab for being our presenting sponsor of this edition of the EKN OutLap, our 50th edition of our preview show that we started a few years ago with the Super Nationals. Again, looking forward to getting out there, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.